Hello, Lightworker. I am so honored to be in this space with you. This first week, we're going to talk about some foundational pieces as we get going together. We are going to play and practice these tools together. This is not going to be one of those programs where I tell you exactly how we're going to do something and then we're all going to do it that way. We are going to be looking for your own unique way, the way that resonates with you to work with your light. And so it's going to take practice, and we're going to play and have fun doing it. And why is that? Because this is light work. Just think about the attributes of light, right? The opposite of heaviness, this lightness, fun, creativity, whimsical. That's what we think about, right? And so we think about this lightness of this attribute, but also the attribute of the light, of just this glowing and radiance and this feeling that you get, right? When that light is on your face or bursting from within you, or you're feeling it coming from another direction. It feels good. It's a really great place to be. And that's where we're going and what we're going to be doing this whole time. So it's going to be fun, exciting, and we just need to remember that it's about practicing and playing. I want you to find with each of these things what lights you up. But it's true, what lights you up about this? It's going to be different for each of us. Some things may be very similar, but we're going to be finding your own unique tools that light you up within this. I want to start off by talking a little bit about your empathic nature. I have a feeling that everyone here is an empath. You may know what that means. You may not. You likely know that you're very sensitive. And so often we can think that sensitivity is a curse instead of a blessing. Some people may have even used your sensitivity against you by saying like, oh, you're so sensitive, like toughen up, get a tough skin. But I see your sensitivity and I think it's beautiful because all of us healers and light workers, we're sensitive, right? That's how we relate to other people. Us empaths, we're the helpers. We're the ones who hold space and allow that space for others to feel seen and heard and to heal. We have the ability to also do that own healing work for ourselves, and we'll get into that later in this program. But for now, it's going to be about protection. Because often if we have felt that our empathy or empathic nature or sensitivity is a curse, it's because we haven't been using it in a very protected way. But your empathic nature is so beautiful because of how it makes other people feel. You have the ability to make others feel seen. People open up to you and tell you their stories, right? They meet you and feel like they've known you forever because you can feel their energy and understand them. There's so many different types of empaths. You may be all of these or one of these. Most likely and most often we are emotional empaths, right? We pick up on the emotional energy of people or things. What's so cool about that, if you pick up on the emotional energy of people and you can, and you may take that on, before we're being protected, is when you're working with our spiritual team, you may not always hear exactly what they're saying, but for at least me, being an empath, I can pick up on that emotional energy. And so I can feel their excitement and their lightness and their fun and a feeling like they're dancing around me and kissing me and just surrounding me in light. And so you could if you can tap into that with anybody that you can see, you can tap into that with what you can't see too. That's just the nature of being an empath. You may be a physical empath where you actually feel another's pain within your body, or you can sense where it is in their body. You may be an empath with animals or plants. You may be an environmental empath where you can feel the energy of a space. like a geographic space or location. It could be a home, a building, an area, a region. Um, an intuitive empath where you just, when you come into contact with someone in person or even from afar, where you kind of like sense if they're putting out something positive or negative, if they're being honest, different things like that. So there's all these different types of empaths that you could be. But no matter which you are, it's really important to stay protected, because when we don't, we can really feel drained. Us empaths are drawn to this light work, right? We are just naturally drawn to it, but also we can get really drained by it if we're not careful. So we are going to practice this, right? It's like the first time you go to the gym and you work out, you're going to be like really sore. You're not into it yet. You might feel awkward, but the more that you go consistently, the more confident you feel in it. And the more you build up that muscle. So we're just going to build up your protection muscles. We're just going to work it out and work at it. And to do that, we have to be consistent and show up at that gym every day. Every day, we need to work on it. With protection tools, it's not that you set an energetic boundary one time and then you're just good. You have to consistently keep working out and building that protection muscle. You're never at a point where you're like, oh, I'm protected forever. It's something that we're consistent with. And I want you to find those protection tools that work for you. And ideally, these will be ones that you can just call upon in an instant so that you can use throughout the day. So if you think of different like almost touch points is what I like to call them throughout the day when you're going to be protecting yourself, decide what those will be for you, and then that's when you'll practice. So for me, for example, it's before I pick up the phone, when somebody calls and I see who it is, it's so easy to already sometimes to have maybe an attachment to how you think that conversation's going to go. And I can already feel like, oh, tensing up with certain people. But for years now, I've been practicing the tool of seeing that on the phone and quickly, protecting myself, grounding, putting up my boundaries, and then approaching them in that conversation in this beautiful protected space. I do that when I work with my clients. I do that when I get into the car because, oh my gosh, I used to have like this crazy road rage, but now I'm like protected. It just is so different how I experience life and how I experience other people's energy. And by road rage, it wasn't like I was like flicking people off, but it was like I was feeling the intensity. I live in a big city and I feel the intensity of the traffic and how other people next to me in the car were feeling. It was like picking up on all that. So I call it road rage, but really it was just, I was very sensitive and it was draining to me. And when you're drained, how it affects your mood and your emotions and how you feel and how you act. But now that I've been really practicing using that protection muscle at that time, I experience things so much differently. And I'm excited for you to have that too. So think of what your touch points are going to be. It's going to be before you get in the car. It's going to be before you enter in a conversation, before you leave your house, when you wake up in the morning. It's going to be different times throughout the day. Before you greet your lover as you enter the house or they enter the house, what can you do to your energy? And it'll be interesting to see, once you're really working on this, how other people relate to you and react to you as well. I'm excited for all of us. So what could those protection tools look like? You may be someone who likes to have something more tangible. And so you might have like a piece of jewelry or a boob rock, a stone you carry around that's for protection. Just something you wear or have on you. It's also something you can do energetically. You can use your third eye, your mind's eye, to envision maybe yourself in a pink bubble, or envision white or golden light swirling all around you. You might even want to put up this visual of mirrors all around you so other people's energy kind of bounces off you and it protects yours. So there's a lot of different ways to do it. I have certainly not named them all, But that's what your job is this week, is to kind of figure out what tools you want to start playing with and finding the ones that resonate. You're going to stay really protected. And that's what protection is. It's just, it's like bubble wrap around you. It is an energetic barrier where you're protecting your own energy and you're not taking on others, so that you can hold a loving, healing space and have a great conversation or whatever it is, and be a great listener and friend and lover without taking on your energy. And that's whether it's positive or negative. And it's also about a good protection tool for an empath is being able to differentiate between someone else's energy and your own. When you're feeling a certain way, is this something going on inside of me, or is this something I'm taking on from someone else? And how can I now reset, cleanse, protect my energy? And that's a good place where grounding can come in. Grounding is a really beautiful tool for all of us, and especially for us light workers and empaths that are so sensitive to the energy around us. Scientifically, if you think about grounding with electricity, like, I'm not going to go into it all here, but it's something you can research. We can talk about in our sister circles, our Facebook group. But with they ground wires literally into the earth, right? In order to protect your appliances, your home, the people within that space from having these surges of energy and things combusting and things like that. You have to do something with the energy, right? Energy can never be destroyed. That's why we can connect with our team above. It can only be, we can transfer it, but it can't be destroyed. It's there. But the Mother Earth below us does this beautiful job of neutralizing that energy. We can transfer things to the earth. And so a lot of you, me for sure, is like a barefoot mama. If you have like permanent wook foot because you're barefoot year round, you might just instinctually be grounding and earthing yourself. There's a great book I want to recommend that was my first book on earthing, and I got this great grounding mat with it. They're actual also the kind of, and we talked about the totem things that you can have for protection. There's things you can also have for grounding with that. There's certain stones or bracelets. There's mats and different things like that. Because we also have all the cell phone towers, all the electricity, that's all like coming through us too. And so to be able to each day, even if it's just one time, but it's nice if it's throughout, if you can touch the earth with your hand or with your feet, or even visualize. If you're in a big stadium apartment, you could use your mind's eye, which is so, so powerful, and do some visualizations. You can see yourself as a tree with the roots growing out down into the core of Mother Earth. But we want to find ways to ground. And that is a way to protect ourselves, to have our energy on point so we can do this work and to stay protected. All right, so let's definitely talk more about this in the Facebook group and our sister circles, and have a lot of fun practicing and finding the ways that work for you. Also this week, I'm really excited about, we are going to be sign detectives. What I say is ALL. All you have to do for divine guidance is ask, look, and listen. So just remember all. So we want to ask for signs from above, from our spiritual team, and for guidance. We have free will, so we want to invite that energy in from a protected space, and ask for that light energy, that our highest good, our highest self, our loved ones past, our angels, whoever you want to connect with from above, call them in and ask. I do this daily. This is part of my shower routine. And on days that I am just like kind of showering in the sink in the morning, that's when I do it too. That's so that I have a structured every single day a time to call this in. I think it's why I receive so many signs, because daily I ask for them. Daily I ask for guidance. I ask to interact with them. I'm like, show yourself, show me the signs, give me some guidance. And I experience that. So ask, look for the response, because it is there. It is coming to you in smells and things you see, in numbers, in images, in songs, and things other people will say to you. right? People popping into your mind, just ideas and things that pop into your mind, or something pops into someone else's mind to share with you, right? Those how those responses is coming back. So listen for that. Pay attention. The listen part is, so that look for that, right? And then the listen part is the interpretation of it, right? What does it mean? So we do have signs all around us, but to be guided by them, we have to be able to interpret them. You can interpret them for yourself. You can look up meanings online. You can kind of make this energetic contract with your spiritual team of, this symbol means this to me, so show me this when I need to hear it or when I need to see it or be reminded. But we want to listen for those meanings, interpret them, and then we want to stay in this place of gratitude and always be saying thank you, thank you, thank you, because that is the door to more. That is, they're giving it to you, and all they want in return is like your love and gratitude, and to acknowledge that acknowledgement that they're here, and they will just pour it down on you, sister. I promise you. I've experienced this firsthand, and I have seen so many others experience this firsthand as well. Ask, look, and listen, and just be grateful and acknowledge that. What we're going to do this week, we're going to carry around a little chart, print it off the workbook. You can make it in your phone. You can just make a little sheet of paper, whatever it is. But how we're going to be sign detectives, in the first column, we're to put a sign that we notice. If you see a number that stands out to you, jot it down. You may, in the moment, have time to look it up or think about what it could mean. You may want to feel into it later. So just jot down the sign. Then we're going to have a little tally column. So if you see a heart sign today, a couple hours later, you're like, oh my gosh, there's another heart sign. Do a tally. Let's see the ones that are really important and coming up a lot to you, right? We're really looking for this stuff. The next column is for the meaning. Again, you might know it in the moment, or you might feel into it later, bounce ideas off us in the group, look it up. But let's see what these mean and what resonates with you, the meaning. The meaning is to me is going to be different to you. That is why I'm going to stress throughout this whole program over and over and over again. This is about your unique way to be the light, play with the light, work with the light, what works with you. Because if it doesn't resonate with you, then it's not going to be meaningful to your life. And then also there's going to be a little column for notes. So if you have a feeling, you know who it's from, like, oh my gosh, like this feels like an angelic sign. This feels like something from my inner goddess, from my highest self. This feels like my grandpa, or, someone, my soul dog, someone from above. You jot that down. It's okay if you don't know, but it's really awesome to also connect with that and get the feeling that this certain being or energy is the one who's sending you a certain sign. That's really cool, and they'd love to be acknowledged. So let's try to figure that out a little bit too. And we're just being a detective. We are just staying curious, looking for the clues, jotting them down in our little notebook, and then interpreting and coming up with kind of like our conclusions from it all. So excited to be doing this work with you. We're also going to have an awesome something to do within our sister circle each time. And so that will be shared within your sister circle by your hype sister, who's kind of like leading you through this module. And I'm also going to put that in your workbook. And so that's something that will change throughout the program. It will just be something fun and creative where we can do it with our sisters in that sister circle, and also involve our friends or our family in doing these projects too. So it's just another way to have fun and be creative in this light. So right now, this week, we're just working on kind of this foundation, looking for signs, learning what way feels good to ground and what way feels good to keep our energy protected. We're just going to play and practice and have fun. On that note, can we please take a deep breath together? Just let in all this light. We are feeling excitement about being here. Let it in. And breathe it out. Sister, I see you. You were born into the light. When you pass from this earth, you will return to the light. And while we're here, we might as well play in it and live in it and have fun with it, because it is here. It is all around. It is shining down on you, and it is shining from within you. I love you so dearly. I'm so excited to keep connecting with you all even more within this space. If there's anything I can do to support you, please reach out. This is going to be a really, really beautiful time together. And I'm so happy. I'm so happy you're here. All right. Big hugs, big love to you.